Hi, I'm Craig Deihl, chef here at Cypress, and today we're going to be cooking a beautiful New York strip. We've already left our New York strip sit at room temperature for about 25 to 30 minutes. And as you can see, we're seasoning from a up high state. That way the salt hits and scatters all over our meat. That's going to start to extract water, which is why we want to do this a day in advance. Another step to producing a great steak is to use the fat trimmings that we get off of it. We're going to put the chopped up fat into a little saucepan with just enough water to cover it. We're also going to add a couple cloves of garlic. And since we're going to be straining it, we don't care that the garlic has the peels on it. We season just a little bit with some salt and just a little bit of pepper. Then we throw it on the stove, and that will start to boil. As it boils, the water will reduce off of it, the fat will slowly start to melt out, and then it will start to caramelize. When it caramelizes, that's when we will get the flavor from the garlic. That's when we will start to get the nuttiness. That fat is what we're after to make our beef butter. So as we look at our beef fat, you can see how it's gotten all nice and caramelized up. The garlic has caramelized up, and we are ready to strain our beef fat and chill it. So we have a hot iron skillet. So we start with a nice about 1/8 inch coat of oil on the bottom of the pan. And you can see that the pan starts smoking right away as soon as we add the oil. We tilt the pan up so that we don't add it to the hot oil so it doesn't burn us or splash us. And that sizzle, that sound that you can hear, those are good signs that the meat is properly cooking. Well, here we are, about 3 minutes into it, and we're ready to flip our steak. We're using a nice, beautiful little meat fork to be able to pick it up nice and evenly. And you can see that nice, beautiful caramelized crust all over the outside of it. It'll sit on this side for probably about 2 minutes. At this point, we're going to add a generous amount of butter to it, and that butter is going to start to get all nice and nutty. And about every 2 or 3 flips, we will add a little bit more butter, and we will start to baste the top of the steak as well. And this basting here is allowing the steak to cook evenly on both sides. And you can see how the butter has gotten nice and nutty. That's imparting a flavor all specific due to the butter. The higher the butter fat in it, the better the flavor that you're going to achieve while basting the steak. In the restaurant, we go through a lot of Plugra, which is our butter of choice, and this is one way that we excessively go through butter, is by basting our steaks. And it really does impart that much more flavor. It imparts that much more caramelized crust, and it makes our food that much better. Butter makes everything better. Better butter, better food. Here we have our rendered out beef fat that's been chilled and cubed up in small little pieces. We're going to add that to our stand mixer. It's 2 parts of beef fat to 1 part of Plugra butter. And we're slowly creaming it together. And the more it creams together, the more it becomes this beautiful homogeneous mix. We're going to strip a little bit of thyme, and then we're just going to chop it up a little bit. We're going to add that, pinch of pepper, a good pinch of salt, because we want our butter to be seasoned. Adjust the speed so that we get it really, really nice and soft, because we're about to add the the whip to it. We apply our whisk. And we will let this go for a good solid 5 minutes. And it will slowly start to take on the appearance of a whipped meringue. We're about 3/4 of the way through cooking our steaks, and we've been flipping and adding butter. Now we're going to add some fresh thyme to it, and you can hear it get all that snap, crackle, and pop is from the moisture that's in it, and that's going to impart that fresh herb flavor into our steaks. And once again, we will baste. So our steaks are right around a perfect medium rare temperature. We're going to come over here and we're going to place them in a warm area on a resting rack. And during the resting stage, we take this butter while the steak is still warm, because we've rendered a lot of that rich fat off of the steak, and we want to add that fat flavor back. Fat is flavor, and in this case, we're getting two great forms of fat: the rich roasted beef fat and the beautiful rich Plugra butter that we've whipped into it. We've rested our steaks and we've transferred them to a clean plate with a little bit of damp paper underneath to catch any of the juices that drip off of it. And we transfer it over to our cutting board, and we do these nice beautiful slices about 1/4 inch thick. And as you can see, there's not a lot of juices that have dripped or come out of our steak. And there is our beautiful medium rare, medium temperature, solid pink all the way through, nice and even. Take our other steak, same thing. And then we take our finishing salt, which we use Maldon salt. Has a nice flaky crunch to it and a beautiful oceanic briny content to it. And there we have it. The pan roasted New York strip basted with Plugra butter and beef fat and fresh herbs. I'm Chef Craig Deihl from Cypress in Charleston, South Carolina. Come on down and visit us.